Hey, lovers, it's Roslynn back one more again. I hope everybody is doing blessed. I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome. And to my returning subs, my growing extended beautiful family, as always, thank you so much for the love and support y'all are constantly giving me each and every day. It's truly a blessing. So with that being said, much love to all. Namaste. Love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you've been watching my videos for a while and have not already, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when I'm about to upload my next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love a chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback to the content of the video or you're up telling me about your empathic gift. And if you feel like the videos are, just uplifting, that you feel like you want to share it with a loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath that may be going through some trying times at the moment, needing confirmation or validation towards life path, or even soul purposes, or even spiritual guidance, please go ahead and share. While you're at it, give a girl a thumbs up, like, and also share the social media favorites wherever you see fit. As always, thank you so much for the love and support. It's always appreciated, and I hope you're able to resonate with the content of my video. And the video I'm about to do right now is Twin Flame 101. Heyokas, you have to accept the truth that has broken you so you can shake that ish off and keep manifesting and moving like a real OG. And that's true. I was just talking about that in my chat. I said, I was trying to debate, like, am I going to still do videos because it's almost 12 o'clock here where I'm at in Georgia. And I was just like, you know what, you're on a roll right now. You finished doing what you need to do. You got some stuff you need to stay. Go ahead and do it. So, there's a lot of things that we go through in life. A lot of times our tragedies are the main things that gets us on our, on our spiritual awakening. It just depends on what the things are. Because a lot of times we hold on to a lot of trauma wounds. Maybe we have hurt other people, or people are hurt us, or we were in situations for poor choices and certain things like that. You always can live and learn from certain situations you go through. That's what learning experience is for. It's for life altering changes that you're taking place. And a lot of times it's hard for you to adjust on certain things when you're not willing to accept what actually has been shown to you. You could have been in a toxic relationship. And you hold on deep to that because it just depends on what, what that relationship was. And a lot of times, with us and empaths, we end up finding ourselves in karmic cycles, and karmic cycles can be kind of toxic at times, and it can really put you through some changes. It can make you or break you, or it can create something of a new. In my situation, it created something of a new. It broke me down on everything that I thought I needed, I thought I wanted, thought I was worthy of. And it showed me that you can create whatever you choose to create. You can allow yourself to tolerate whatever you choose to tolerate. And you can allow yourself to grow from things that felt like it is sent to break you. And a lot of times you have to be in these situations, especially if there's something you're lacking within yourself. It's showing you to acknowledge certain things in yourself that you need to find out. Because a lot of times if you're in toxic situations, it's maybe because of the things that you have seen and that has been in your family. It could have been from different generations all the way down. It could have been from family members, things that have gone on to the point where sometimes if you've seen it so much, you became accustomed to that. I say it's a good one if you've been in an abusive home and you actually got in a stable relationship, and it's a lot better than what you've seen your parents go through, or foster parents or whatever. And I really feel like that's a blessing on all accords. But, sometimes, a lot of times, you're repeating history. And that's the thing right now, that we're healing this generation. So if you don't have children, you're not giving that person that wounded, you're not raising a child off of wounds. You're not, programming them to learn certain things they got to unprogram later. And those are the things we're fixing right now. We're making our wrongs right. And these are things for you to be able to actually do that. You have to really be able to accept the things that's really being shown to you. And a lot of times it's hard for you to digest, toxic situations, painful situations. It's like with mine, it took me a long time to be able to say, you know what, I'm grateful for my situations on all of them, through my relationships that failed, my volatile, toxic relationships that I place myself in, allowing myself to disrespect myself and take what I thought I deserve, where I had to find my worth within myself to go for, high, raising my bars on what things that I should, really go for. And a lot of times it takes you to that point for you to have that wake up moment where you really see where your life can be at. And a lot of times these things break you to build you back up. When God sees that we're going through a lot of different things that's breaking his heart, he will put us in certain situations where it's just like that karma is going to happen. Like, you be in a situation where you're dishonoring yourself. You're dealing with somebody who doesn't respect you. They don't love you. You're placing love in something that's not loving you back. You're crying for something that won't even draw a tear for you. Won't even draw a tear for you. And these are the things that you had to go through. And it's like, why do you keep allowing these certain things to happen? Because you need to invest in loving yourself. When you love yourself, you make better choices. You choose a lot more things. Not carelessly anymore, but you're being very careful about things that you choose to select. And it's like, when I see my situation, I tell people a lot, it took me a long time to not talk bad about my relationship, about my ex, and all those different things. Now I can see this is the situation I needed to break me from what I know I don't need in my life. I don't deserve. It was a benefit for me to heal in ways that I didn't see coming. And those are a lot of times you have to be in certain situations like that, because a lot of times you can be in situations like that and a person will put up bars, basically walls up to where they can miss out on a blessing of a lifetime in a relationship, a marriage, a stability, a partnership, a union. But they're scared to do that because of the situations they were in before, where they kind of feel like, it took me so much to get out of that. I've had friends that went through toxic relationships and marriages and stuff like that. When they finally got out, they finally have a relationship that was really destined to be, but they so feared to go into that next level because they remember what they went through before, and it was so hard for them to get out of it. And it's just like, if you have this person that really wants to treat you well, and I mean, he's honoring you or she's honoring you like you really want, I mean, why are you scared to do that? And it's just like, I've been through that, what I went through. But it's just like, if that's meant to be, you shouldn't hold that fear over that person. You're dishonoring yourself when you're not allowing yourself to go through that. I mean, if you don't want to be married and you already brought that to the relationship, like, I don't want to be married, I don't want to be settled down, like, we can do a promise thing. We can do, how some of them people just like, they'll do a promise ceremony. It's like you're married, but it's not, in paper and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, whatever works. But I allow myself to see a lot of things, and I tell people I keep it real, with the situation and the platform I have, not no situation, but just the platform I have, I like to use my experiences to be able to help others to see the experience they may be going through with themselves. You have to make those really important decisions on, when you want things in your life. I always tell people, don't ever say your low maintenance is not much. Or, I used to tell people, when people ask, what you looking for in a relationship? I'm like, I don't know. And it's like, when you're doing that, you're leaving people open to treat you however, because if you're not telling them what you're looking for, what you're going to tolerate, what you're going to put up with, what you got to bring to the table, what you got to take off to the table, what you ain't scared to eat along with, you're not giving that person anything to look forward to. Or it's just, you can be dealing with somebody who's mind playing. Oh, it's like, oh, this is going to be a cinch, and these are the things you learn from the people that you allow yourself to keep company with. And it doesn't always have to be relationships. It can be just even with family, or it can be people that you choose as friends, people that you interact with at your job, all these different things. And it's just like, when I see mine through my family, it was very toxic. It was like, I went through it as a child, and I went through it hard as an adult. And I went through that major shift 5 years ago, and I went through a nervous breakdown. Everything hit me all at once. It wasn't just one thing. It was like 4 or 5 things all at one time. But now I can get into that healthy place. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still healing every day. What could have been a trigger for me tomorrow will be my biggest strength today. And you keep working on that. That's your big competitor within yourself, that competition of yourself, that strive of yourself, whatever was that thing that gave you a trigger yesterday, you need to work on that. Whatever vibration of the past that keeps coming up, you have to work on that. Because it's like so many different things. There's so many people going through things, and I mean, it's hitting them and it's hitting heavy. And you were chosen for this situation. And it's just like when you've been chosen for this, they will put you in some harsh situations for you to be leveling out. And it's like when you have gone through the worst and the worst of your life, and I'll tell people that, and I'll tell myself that too, when I do that self-talk, when you have gone through the worst, and I mean worse, that just could have brought you down. I mean, you lost your mind and you went on a scavenger hunt to try to find it, and you were just looking lost and clueless. Your elevator don't go all the way to the 13th floor. It just dangles between 2 and 10. And I mean, I'm like, damn, Roslynn, 2 and 10. Yeah, and I mean, 2 and 10 is like that way. So you are a whole hot mess. And those are the things that you had to really go through. And a lot of times, I was just saying on my chat, a lot of times your biggest blessings come from when you got ripped apart by some kind of tragedy, because it allowed you to build off everything on the foundation of truth. A lot of us are still living in those vibrations of illusions of what we thought was true, and it was just lies. We unlearning, we're unprogramming. We unlearning the stuff that our parents thought they were trying to tell us, and that was a bunch of BS too. And we're growing off of those things. And now you're able to make those decisions and build back something up that you invested within yourself. That's what the spiritual awakening, the Kundalini, the ascension, dark night of the soul. Good God Almighty. People be asking me, Roz, how many times I gotta go through this? How many times? How deep the wounds is? I can't tell you. It can be 10 for this part. It can be a million for that one. And you're going through so many things, and you're going through huge changes because you'll feel it within your body. You'll feel it within your vibrations that you have. You can't sleep. Your sleep pattern is off. Your blood flow within your body is different. You get swollen one minute, you feel light the next, you got headaches, it's like your eyes get sensitive. You can start seeing auras through certain people. It's like when you see, even when I do my videos, you can see my aura will change real quick, and it gets very potent, and it's just like talking to a lot of people now, since I do chats a lot more now. It is interacting, so I have to shield myself from a lot of people, because they're coming in like, oh my God, what have you been doing? And and I feel it, and I did it earlier and it was so funny, but now it's like, I'm spreading myself out. I'm allowing myself to try out different things, allow myself to not just say, oh, I did it and I'm good. Now I'm trying to go all in for what I want. If I want to be able to create something different, I know I got to be able to put in all work, and just allow myself to keep going. And that's why I love challenging myself. And then, when the universe sees that you're allowing yourself to get challenged, because right now, a lot of us is getting pushed out of comfort zones. And that's when, you're out of the comfort zone, because when you have gotten so accustomed to a certain vibration, certain people, certain elements for so long, and you were created to do more. God, universe will start pushing you in different vibrations, got you doing different things that will frustrate the mess out of you, that will scare you to death. And that's why he's creating to push you, because when he wants more for you, he'll have you moving in different directions that feel foreign as I don't know what. And then you'll start seeing different things for what they are. You start seeing people that you really care for in ways that that was always there, but you were just so clouded with illusions. You finally seeing things for what they really are, and you're being challenged for that. And a lot of times there's going to be nights that you sleepy, or there's different nights that you're going to want to cry, or different days you're going to be highly frustrated. But this is going to motivate you, especially if you're in a situation you don't want to be in. And that should be your biggest motivation there. If there's just a vibration you are just so tired of being in, and you want so much better for your life, you're going to challenge your own challenge of challenges. Like your challenge is going to be scared to challenge you. Like, what's up? I'm doing this. What's up? I'm tired of going through all this. So I'm tired. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I got to do. And these are the different things you're doing when you can accept things for what they truly are, not for what you thought they were, but what they truly are. And that may be hard to digest. You may choke on it a little bit, but you can be able to take that, hit it like a real G, and just keep it moving. You have to be able to do that. Sometimes you got to do it being mad, crying, feeling, worthless or whatever. But these are the experiences you had to have because it's getting you in tune with a part of yourself that's been dormant, waiting for you to acknowledge that. And it'll be a part of yourself like, I'm so happy to see you. Got your ancestors up there crying because they were like, I knew it. I told you. They got this. And they knew we had it. And it wasn't easy. That's why we got so many spiritual enforcements that we're dealing with. You were created for something more. So you're going to be pushed out in so many different ways. There'll be days you want to give up. There'll be days where you feel like you don't got what it takes to do this. There'll be days that you just don't understand it and stuff like that because you're getting pushed in new vibrations every day. When you clear one thing, you'll ante up on one other thing. And then you got more BS's coming into your life after you clear one. Or you may be dealing with stuff like me. You dealing with a whole bunch of stuff at one time. And that really, I said, oh, you must really think I'm good. They always tell, God ain't gonna put nothing on you can handle. He must think you a badass. And I mean, you were one of the renegade type of person that you just ain't gonna stop. He already know you were the tough of the tough, and that's why they using you for that, because they know if you get mad enough, you gonna go all in. And that, a lot of times they'll do that just to trigger you, and you gonna get to that point. My mom always, God rest her soul, my mom always used to tell me, when you're getting tired of something, really tired of it, you're going to know what you need to do and you're going to stick to it. And then you're going to go all in. And a lot of times you're going to do more than what they expect you to do. Just because you don't want to deal with certain situations anymore. And that's what you're doing. A lot of times, if you're lacking self-love, you get put in situations where you have no choice but to love yourself. You get in situations like that's why a lot of us, that's why I was in a lot of toxic relationships. It's like, I'm not saying all my relationships were bad, because I love all my relationships. Some of them to a certain extent, like, what the hell, but there are some of them I really, I can say I appreciate all the ones I went in, because I learned from the craziness, the dumb mistakes that I did, certain things I experimented with, certain things that I would do, that looked exciting, but it was daggone dangerous, and all those things. So when I get to where I want to go, it's going to remind me of all the things that I loved and it was good to my relationship, but also know from the decisions and directions I went to that was very volatile and toxic for my relationships. When you finally get to something that is, that is designed for you and mine, you're going to learn what not to do in certain situations like this. You grow and stuff like that, to where whatever your weaknesses are, they're going to be your best strengths. I didn't have patience in my life. I always felt, I was like, I'm a Taurus, Leo, Gemini, Scorpio, a little bit of Cancer, rolled all up into one. It's just like, there's a whole hot mess. So it's like with us, especially if you're a Taurus, it come first. You want stuff like last year. You're looking at it today, I should have had that last year. So being patient is not in my forte, but I had no choice but to be that. I didn't have self-love. I didn't have that, that initial father figure in my life. So I never really knew what a man is supposed to do, what it's supposed to treat me like. I did a lot of things, in ways that's very dangerous for a child to do, to get that connection, start early, having relations and stuff like that. It's not something I'm proud of, but when I learned from now, you can't even get me out of the house. I don't even do anything, I don't submit to no one, but those are the things that I'm willing to wait for. I'm already good. I say, shoot, the way stuff going on right now, you ain't even got to worry about the stuff at the free clinic. You got to go to the free clinic for, or something that you can't get rid of. You got to worry about the daggone energy that's worse than the stuff that you got to go to the free clinic for, and it's all that. So it's just like, my body is a temple. I didn't see it as that, and a lot of times we put ourselves in these situations. I call it the Black Snake Moan situation. If anybody ever seen that movie with Justin Timberlake, Christina Ricci and Samuel L. Jackson, that was a bomb movie. What was it? David, I forgot what that boy name is, but he was a rapper too. And, and that was a good movie. I used to be that way, because I felt through connections in certain situations like that. And it's like, when I look at it now, it's very shameful for those things. But it's just a lot of times people do that when they want a connection or just feeling loved or feeling connected with somebody. They would lay down with different people to feel that, and I would become numb to that. And it's just like, now I'm honest enough to say certain things like that. Some people worry about what people feel out in their past. I said, why? I don't care what other people think. I'm learning and growing from that. I don't have no problem with sharing. I don't share everything, but it's like the things that a lot of people can relate to. Don't feel shameful. Your past, your past got you to where you are today. Those are not the things that I do. I learned to love myself. I was seeking outside sources to validate me for what I should have felt for myself, you know. And those are the things, I really try to do. My mama only can do so much, but it was like in the situation I was with, I added more stress and hurt to her, like, her marriage did. So that was not something my mom could be proud of. I was like, I didn't give my mom something proud to be, ran that woman's blood pressure up. That's what I did. But, even before she left this earth, we had a good connection. It was a blessing that I was able to have the mother I've always wanted, you know. And it was just like always a blessing. I still got her, even still strong from the spirit world. And, you're learning from a lot of different things in your life that was sent just to help you learn about yourself, to help you grow. And a lot of times it's like, this is not, why am I in this situation? Because there's something you need to learn about yourself. Certain things you may not lack, you may be lacking in your life that you need to have. And a lot of times you have to go through that, through the acceptance of something that you have never acknowledged in your life. There's a lot of people out here that puts their business out on social media. A lot of people don't care. Shoot, they probably wishing more on you. Even if you go and talk to a so-called friend, you got to even be careful talking to them, because a lot of times their life is miserable too. And they hoping the worst for you. Or they, if they know you having problems in your relationship and marriage, shoot, they probably trying to sit up here and get in where they can fit in on certain situations. It's like that. But it's just like when I see a lot of things in my life, I truly appreciate them. It taught me a lot. There's a lot of things that it's not something I'm bragging about, but it's just to say, what, it's okay for people to know, what you've gone through. There's people that can relate to these different things, and sometimes they feel shameful of the choices they made in their life. And I'm like, shoot, I'll tell people real quick. I used to be on food stamps. I have been evicted out of my a couple of places that I stayed on, lost a car or two. I don't shoplifted, on wrote bad checks. I used to dance for a while, and those things are okay. I did what I had to do for my children. I had children at a young age. I started around 15, 16 having children, and, all my kids are in college. I didn't finish high school. It's a blessing to be able to see. I just finally got my first grandbaby. My oldest daughter turned like 21, 22, 22, 23 age. I started when I was 16. My mom had me when she was 16. My daughter's father was 18. My dad was 18. So it was like a repeated thing, but it was just a blessing to be able to know I went all in for my children. I told them I wasn't the best mom in the world, but I did what I had to do, to help them. I didn't want them to have the life I had. I used to grill them all the time, stay in school. I want the best out of you, because I didn't do this. I want you to do it, and I made sure that they knew what they had to know, you know, and be able to do that. And I always tell people, even in my videos, don't allow somebody to shame you from what your past is. Everybody got one. There's nowadays people worried about what the next person think. There ain't nobody in this world that got a clean slate. Okay, there are a lot of people that choose to want to hide things because they're worried about how they're being seen. And I'm like, why are you worried about that? It's just like a lot of even the strongest people being people pleasers, and it's just, I'm not one of those. Because my family always told me, what if you get famous? You don't want people to know you went through this. I said, for what? I had to do what I had to do. I don't care about the next person. They probably did worse stuff than I did. But when you can allow yourself to be in acceptance of what has taken place in your life, and you can grow from that, that's going to be a pinnacle that you can say, I was down in the dirt. I was doing a lot of things in my life that was very embarrassing to me. It felt low life, and these are the things that took place. But you know what? I can be honest and be proudful of these are the things that I did, because it got me so far. It got me so far. Because it's like when I see rappers and stuff like that, Cardi B, she was like, you know what? I used to be a dancer. She didn't care. I actually respect her. I may not go by a lot of things that she do, but hey, what goes for the next person may not go for that next person. But I can respect the fact is she's not going to allow nobody to shame her. She's always been straight, straight, told her opinion on how she felt about a lot of things. The mess is funny, but I can respect her because the fact is you being honest about your stuff. You don't care about what people think. You let it do what it do. And that's how you need to be. I mean, you don't have to sit up here and be, parading all your stuff around, but it's like with my platform, I want people to know it's okay. When you can learn from your mistakes and you can grow from those things, don't ever be shameful about that. Don't ever let nobody down you and make you feel bad for what you did. Usually when that's doing something that somebody lacking accountability of things they still trying to hide, so it is what it is. But when you allow yourself to accept what is taking place and you really truly learn from that, you really truly grow from that, that's when you're making them power moves like an OG. You shaking that mess off. You be like, you know what, man, that mess hit me deep, but you know what, I'm gonna be okay. And you are gonna be okay. It's gonna take you a minute to heal those wounds, but you also gonna appreciate those. I always tell people I show my scars. I don't care. If I want to put a tattoo on it, hey, I want to be a tattoo on it. I'm probably tired of looking at it, but it's okay. I tell people that. There's different times that when people don't see me cry on here and I'll be like, oh, I ain't trying to cry right now. And I'll be like that. There's days I'll be really goofy. There'll be times where I was just like, you know what? I'm not feeling like perfect Patty. I'm being pessimist Patty right now. So I'm just not going to do no videos for a few days. And I allow myself to be honorable and say that. I tell people the strongest thing you can do is tell somebody you got a weak moment, because you admitting that you actually had a weak moment. Some of the strongest people have insecurities and they will tell people they don't have none. And that's a sign of weakness, because you're worried about what somebody's saying about you. You're saying, oh, I'm soft. No, it's okay about you you just being honest. You keeping it real. But I hope you were able to resonate with the content of this video, y'all. Like I said, I always leave my contact information in the description box below. I also have a podcast that I do. I share from Spotify that I put on here too. If you can't watch the video, be able to have, the audible of positive vibrations for you to be able to project and reflect on it, in case it, it can be something that you really need to hear that day. But like I said, I usually try to do, my live chats. I did 2 of them today. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple of videos, because usually I'll say that and I'm like, man, I'm tired, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But I said, no, if I gotta practice, live it, breathe it, be it. If I'm gonna use myself as an example, I'm like, hey, you gotta keep it moving, you gotta keep it moving, you gotta keep it moving. So I'm keeping it moving. So, but yeah, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop a line. I would love a chance to hear from you. I always tell people, I leave my other social medias like my IG as well as my email, because a lot of people don't want to talk to me one-on-one. It's about, spiritual, networking and stuff like that, questions about their spirituality or certain things or the life path of purpose. If I don't tell them from my experience, I use, what God gives me to give to you, or I find whatever you need, on the internet to be able to give you a deeper, understanding about certain things that's going on. And, whatever we discuss is, confidential. So you don't have to worry about that. And, just drop a line. I would love to hear from you. But let me go ahead and give a post notification shout out to Stephen. I'm going to say Stephen Q because I don't want to mispronounce your last name. Larry Moore, Annie, Bill Flippin, and James Eastman. Much love to you, as well as and Lion. Much love to you as well. And I will see y'all on my next video. Much love to you. Peace.